All right, sir, can you tell me about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Doug Pecktec. I'm from Bennington, Vermont, and this is my product, the Pleco Feeder.
All right, so how does it work?
Basically, you would take a piece of squash or cucumber or zucchini, and you would just basically screw it onto the food, and then you would gently place it in your tank for your fish to enjoy, so you don't have to stick your hand in there, you're not getting wet, you're not worried about tying it to a rock. This happens to be some blanched butternut squash.
So how did you come up with this?
I was tired of sticking my hand in the tank to retrieve the rubber band that was tied to the rock that was laying on the bottom of my tank. I was tired of dripping water all over my living room while I was redoing my fish room, and I said there has to be a better way.
Can you tell me what kinds of things can you stick on there? What works the best for like Plecos?
Oh, for Plecos, I have Plecos eating butternut squash. I have them eating zucchini. I have them eating cucumber. We're working with Repashy Food now to have a mold and mix up the Repashy food and put this in there, so this can be a delivery system for that as well.
That is awesome. Well, thank you very much. Where can we find one of these online?
You could go to theplecofeeder.com and you can order it right online.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, so that was Doug at the American Cichlid Association's convention in Kentucky. And I had a great time meeting him. I actually brought one of these products home because I wanted to share it with you guys. I thought it was really, really neat, the Pleco Feeder. Especially compared to old school clips and stuff that I always used in the past. These things had the little suction cups and they just don't seem to work very long, and then eventually this just ends up being a weight to hold the vegetables down, and then when you're done feeding, you gotta reach in there, pull it out, and it was always kind of a pain in the butt, and to tell you the truth, it kept me from doing it as often as I would like to, because feeding fresh vegetables to your fish are a great way to just kind of vary their diet a little bit and get some good nutrients in there. Now, some fish especially will only eat them if they're blanched. Now I'm told this makes it softer and easier for the fish to digest. That's the purpose of blanching your vegetables. And just real quick, let me describe how you do that. Now, this is zucchini, and I started off cutting it up. Now, the Pleco Feeder, you actually feed it in larger chunks, so I don't cut the little discs like you normally would. I cut them in kind of larger chunks. And then I set water to boil, and I set a timer for 3 minutes. I carefully put the vegetables into the water and let it cook for 3 minutes. They come out very nice and soft. You can then use a slotted spoon to scoop out the vegetables and put them in a glass bowl for them to cool down. Now, once you've fed the amount of food you're going to feed at that time, you can take a plastic container after the vegetables have cooled down and throw it into the freezer to hold for later. Now, a little bit more about the product. Okay, this is a stainless steel product, and it has some plastic parts here and here to kind of keep it from scratching up your aquarium or rattling around and making a lot of noise. And just look at this compared to some of these old school clips. There's really no comparison in the quality here. All right, now setting one of these up to feed is a pretty simple process. It's basically a skewer. And what I've done is I've left 1/2 of the vegetable skin on just to kind of help hold it together, especially after it's blanched. It gets kind of squishy and mushy. So what I've done is I've left like the back half of the vegetable skin on, and I'm going to run the skewer down the side of it and then turn it around and around and around and let it go through that skin, and it'll kind of help hold that vegetable on there and keep it from falling apart. So let's give it a try here. Alright, so I've got I'll pick a piece of zucchini out of here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start actually in the back here. So I'm not going to put it right down the center. I want to give the fish a little room where they can eat, and just kind of get this thing going. And you just spin around and around. It's very easy. Be careful not to get your finger. The end of this is actually pretty sharp. All right, watching my fingers. All right. Now, you can tell from this part here that this is going to, face outward of the aquarium, is going to face this way. So what I do is I make sure that the skin is in the back, and this one is ready to try out. Now the way the Pleco feeder attaches is a little different. It basically is just a hook here on the end, and what you're going to do is you just slide it into your aquarium, and what I've found is it fits in just about every aquarium. Now I have a bunch of Eclipse tanks, so I've got that Eclipse hood, and they will fit there, and you can close the hood and the hood will kind of stick up a little bit, but they also fit on the different parts on the inside. So if you have an Eclipse also, you can just simply hook it into anything that'll stay up there. There's lots of stuff inside. I also was able to put this in the fluval edge, and it's just barely long enough to go into the fluval spec 5-gallon. Now, anytime you try a new food for your fish, or you feed them in a different way, sometimes it takes them a little while to get accustomed to it. So what I would recommend is, if you get one of these and you're trying it out, what you want to do is just leave it in there. If they don't go for it right away, just let it sit. You can let this sit in your aquarium for about 24 hours. After that long, I would pull out anything they haven't eaten and dispose of it. Now, this is a Pleco feeder by name, but I have tons and tons of shrimp, and I gotta say, they really went bonkers for the zucchini. So, and I don't think I've ever really tried to feed my shrimp zucchini before, but they went nuts for it. They loved it. The Plecos love it too. It took them a little while to come out and get accustomed to it, but they also had a really good time chewing on some fresh vegetables. So I definitely recommend this. I think it's a cool product. I think it's a neat idea. He's a nice guy. Go check out his webpage and pick one up for yourself. They're not very expensive at all, and they're just terribly neat. So that's all I have for you today, and I thank you, and I hope to see you again soon. I've got the video for the 27-gallon I'm finishing up. It's kind of a recap of the live episode, but it goes further because I've kept shooting. I had tons of problems with it. It's not looking the best, but it is. I do want to show you where I'm at with it. I've got some plans to kind of help it out. So please be sure to check it out. And until next time, I'll see you later.